Welcome to Rev'n News. I'm your host, Mike Robledo.
And I'm Clarence Barnes, and on Rev'n News, we talk about anything that revs.
Yeah, Rev'n News is all about the automotive aftermarket, the performance aftermarket, the upgraded springs, big motors, power adders like nitrous.
Yeah, today we're going deep. Lots of cool things to cover. A big show ahead right here on Rev'n News.
Let's face it, modern cars have a lot of plastic components. It makes the car lighter, makes it a little bit more affordable. The problem is plastic breaks. Luckily, the guys over at Eco Repair Systems have developed a new way to weld plastic to repair it. Let's check it out.
So plastic fusion is basically welding plastic bumpers and tabs on headlights and things like that. So the idea is that the repairability of things is very high with plastic, and what we're trying to do is reduce the severity of the repair. Typically, if you're replacing an entire bumper, you end up painting the bumper and blending 3 panels. So with this type, we basically keep the repair process really small, the blend small, so we reduce the severity of the repair. Typically, the process, or we'll call it the damage, that this type of device can repair, is rips, tears, or cracks, or even, let's say, a total loss of a part like a tab on a bumper or on a headlight. So you can actually recreate a part, or you can repair a part. So if there's a crack or a tear with plastic fusion, you basically restore the material that's missing, and then we have a skim coat product made by Polymix that allows you to basically fill that area and still have that flexibility of the OEM part. The benefit to the consumer for our product is that it has 3 different ways to repair. So one is through a hot stapling process that allows them to give that rigidity on the edge of the bumper so it won't re-tear in the same area. Also, the fact that the refinishing spot is small, so you don't have blend issues with multiple panels, trying to keep that damage and severity reduced. And also the fact that you're keeping the OEM original bumper fit and finish quality. So a lot of times companies are resorting basically to an aftermarket part that doesn't have the same quality look and feel. The traditional method with bumper repairs is 2. One of them is replacing the entire part, and the second one is using plastic filler like Bondo. The problem with that is it's not the same type of material, so the strength and rigidity of that repair is different than the base material. So it fractures, cracks, or you get what they call contour mapping in paint. So with plastic fusion, we have 2 options. One of them is replacing the factory material back on, or using a universal rod to basically replace or fix that damaged area. So the savings in time and money for a body shop is that this device can be used with nitrogen, without nitrogen, and then we also have a chemical process as well. So cycle time is really the biggest benefit. If you're waiting on a new part, they have to order it, it has to be delivered to the shop, then the whole thing has to be painted. So if you have the bumper on the vehicle and it's repairable, it allows them to have that cycle time repair process down to within a day. You can do the repair and send it to paint for priming and paint. So rental car days are down, and also basically the keys to keys time is reduced. So using this particular device to strengthen the integrity of the repair is just as good as the OEM process. So what we've done is we have different types of rods, what they call it, and we also have a universal rod. So it allows the technician to repair the vehicle with either the same material or compatible material that have the same strength without having problems with separation. So our company currently has a relationship of working with BMW on plastic repair. So we're creating for them an entire training program that they're going to be releasing in, I think it's 2016. And it allows their dealerships and CCRCs, which is their Certified Collision Repair Center network, to have access to this equipment, but it's also part of the requirement for the training. So the idea, once again, is to reduce the severity of the repair, so that way the cars are back on the road quicker, faster, and still maintaining the OEM integrity of the original parts on the vehicle.
You know, when you start getting into some serious horsepower from modifying an engine, you gotta upgrade the clutch. Figuring out what clutch to go with is not an easiest thing to do. Luckily, Clarence got a chance to talk with Bob Sheed from McLeod, and he breaks it all down for us.
So at SEMA, we get a chance to talk to everyone and kind of break down all the cool stuff about all the things you might not know. And here at McLeod Clutches, which, by the way, made in Placentia, California. That's kind of cool because, you know, there's few people in this space, but it's neat to know that you guys are right on the other end of the phone in a place I call home. So that's kind of cool.
But to be American made is just awesome. And to know that, you know, everything that we do we use in our own cars too.
Right.
So we make it here, and even as employees of the company and stuff, we use it here.
Can you just detail a little bit about what McLeod's, has available right now?
Sure, McLeod's got, in our single disc line, we have 4 different clutches.
Right.
And the biggest thing that you've got to ask yourself when you're buying a clutch is, how much power I'm making?
Right.
How do I want to use it?
Right.
So if you've got a car that's got mild bolt-ons, and it's going to be a street car for you,
Right.
you want something that's going to be friendly on the leg, it's going to have smooth engagement.
Right.
So you want to look at something that's got like organic discs,
Right.
sprung hub. That would be like our street level.
Right.
Those are perfect.
Right.
If you want to step up and say you take that car to the track on the weekends, but yet it's still your daily driver, our Super Street Pro is perfect for you.
Now we're getting where I want to be.
And the difference,
Yep.
the difference in that is it's got Meba lining on one side and organic lining on the other side. This is the Meba lining,
Right.
and the Meba lining is very friendly on the street, yet has a great coefficient of friction, so it can be really abused. It's a sprung hub disc so that it gives smooth engagement also. This side is an organic lining, so that gives you the slip in the clutch that you need. Now we also do a clutch, our Street Extreme, that's Meba lined on both sides. It's still very friendly on the street, but it'll hold 600 horsepower. So our entire single disc line, we do 2 things with it. We want to make sure that the quality is second to none. So we use only ductile iron. We make sure that we use extra straps on the pressure plate, sprung hubs. But the other thing is, it's got to be affordable. If our customers can't buy it, there's no sense. And one of the big misconceptions is bigger is better, more expensive is better. That's not always the case. If you're just running a daily driver and you got mild bolt-ons and stuff, there's no need to spend all the extra money. But you also don't want too little a clutch. So you've got to make sure that you do your time, take your time and do your research, and make sure that you get the right clutch for the power you're making and the way you're going to drive it. Especially when you get into the higher horsepower cars and you want to get into the twin disc clutches, then that's when you really want to make sure that you do your homework.
What's the kind of information that someone should really look to before they go select a clutch, you think?
But you know what, we love when people call us, come up to us and stuff like that. It's great. We love talking clutches. What I would recommend is that know how you want to use a car. Know basically what your horsepower is. And we like it at the crank. We like to know the horsepower at the crank. The other thing is what kind of tires you're going to run. Are you going to take this to the track? If so, are you going to run slicks? Are you going to run drag radials? Is it going to be a prep track? All of those things make a difference. If we're running a slick, we need more clutch. If we're running on a prep track, we need more clutch. So we've got to keep all of those things in mind.
Talk a little bit about the accessories. Now, I know you guys are into flywheels too.
You know, we've got 4 different levels of flywheel. So we do everything from a nodular iron, which is a great replacement flywheel. We do a chrome moly unit, very strong, very lightweight. Aluminum, replaceable plate, ultimate lightweight performance. Great for the guys running turbos or superchargers. We want to get the R's up right away. And then we do a billet steel. That is a nice piece for the street when you still want to keep some inertia in the flywheel and you want something that's really strong and SFI approved.
So, for the people just getting into this, why might you want to replace that flywheel? Just in a nutshell.
Well, to be honest with you, every time you replace a clutch, you've got to machine the flywheel. And to go out and find a shop that can do that right, it's going to cost you some money. So it's much easier to just replace it. Plus, if you're upgrading the horsepower on the car, that factory cast flywheel was never made to take that kind of abuse. So why not put that insurance policy in it and make sure that you've got something strong enough to hold the power that you're making. One of the best things is that being a company like us that does everything from an entry-level street clutch all the way up through our Pro Series, a whole 3,000 horsepower, we get to see it all. And that's really neat as a company. And for our customers, it gives them one-stop shopping. They can come to us and know, hey, if I need anything from a clutch to a bell housing to a transmission, we've got it all.
Well, thank you so much. It's great seeing you guys at SEMA once again. You know, before you go out and make an investment, which this truly is, before you go out and just get something because your friend told you, go to McLeodRacing.com and get the real information today. Hey, if you're one of those folks who has tons of torque in your diesel ride, you got a chip, you got lots of stacks, you got all types of action going on with that, you definitely want to find out the latest in diesel fuel systems. Take a look at this from Aeromotive.
I'm at SEMA with Jared Cox. Jared is with Aeromotive Fuel Delivery Systems, and in addition to all of the wide variety of fuel system components that Aeromotive offers, we're focusing here today on diesel components. And I know that with the popularity of diesel vehicles and the expensive problems that can occur when they're not addressed properly, tell me how Aeromotive has jumped in there to make our life simpler.
This is actually the very first target-specific product for the diesel market that Aeromotive has come up with. Traditionally, our pumps have been used, for the better part of a decade in the diesel systems, but they were borrowing from our gas line or our performance aftermarket line. This is the first targeted, specific diesel product that we've come up with, and it's quite extensive, but it'll get the job done.
So Jared, what are the features that Aeromotive offers that they've built into these systems that are going to be particularly beneficial to me?
There's a lot of stuff that we built into this pump that you're not going to find anywhere else. Built-in one-way check valves, a brushless motor with no shaft seal to ever leak, a true diaphragm-style regulator to regulate and control pressure with one of the most accurate ways to control pressure for the system. Pressure gauge that comes with the kit so you know what the pressure is. Big 5/8 feed line and an in-tank baffle system that's included in every system.
All that sounds really, really impressive to me. I know that I'm happy with diesel performance, but I know there's a lot more to the longevity and the power of one of these vehicles than just me being happy. So what's Aeromotive doing so that I can enjoy my diesel truck engine a lot longer and benefit from a lot more power?
By putting a 2-micron cat filter on the pump, it's regarded as one of the best filters on the market. We didn't want to have to relearn the market of, Aeromotive's filters are better than brand, A, B, or C. So we included a 2-micron cat filter. So you filter it down to 2 micron. You separate the water, and we displace the air out of the system, so you have a nice, clean, steady stream of fuel up to the injection pump, which makes a more efficient burn. And when you have a more efficient burn, you make more power, more torque, and better fuel economy.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that dirt and water is not going to benefit me, and I see a lot of emphasis on filtration, water separation. It looks to me as though Aeromotive has really put a product out here on the market that's going to benefit all of us.
It most certainly is. We've had great success with some of our customers out there. We had an 04 Duramax that saw an increase of 27 horse and 91 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheels just by simply putting the pump on. And on top of that, he's enjoying a 3 mile per gallon increase.
That's very, very believable. Well, you've got that radio voice, my little southern drawl. It's really stood out here. I've enjoyed talking with you. We've had a great time at the SEMA show. It took us all afternoon to get by your booth and to get in the booth because the crowds were so thick. Thank you a whole lot. Appreciate the time you spent with us and teaching us about Aeromotive.
I appreciate it, and anybody at home wants to visit us, you can go to our website, aeromotiveinc.com.
That sounds excellent. And if we need to talk and get some personal advice, can we just make that phone call?
You can make that phone call. We have live techs that are available, some of the best techs in the industry that we have are readily available to answer any questions, regardless if it's diesel, performance aftermarket, or something that maybe you don't know that exists.
Now, since the beginning of cars, the idea of taking your car to a body shop has just been a nightmare. The time involved, the cost, the bondo, the dust, what a pain in the neck. Luckily, the guys at Eco Repair Systems have revolutionized many of these aspects. Clarence caught up with the guys at SEMA. You're not going to believe this.
So the product is an electronic dent reduction device. It could also be used for push to paint. PDR is paintless dent removal, and that's basically used to reduce dents or eliminate them without the need of refinishing. This device allows you to do 2 things. So one is that PDR process, and the other is push to paint, which is shrinking metal. The reason for the product initially is that with PDR in general, it takes time to repair dents. So the concept was to create a new technology that would allow them to increase or reduce the cycle time of repairing dents. So originally in 1999, they developed it's a 230-volt unit, a little bit larger, more of a robust-looking device. But one of the things that was important was to make it more travel-friendly, and of course for the North American market, 120 volts. So we came up with this compact version that allows them to do everything they need to, but also be mobile. The unit also only draws 1,000 watts, so therefore they can run off a battery and inverter. So for PDR technicians or for a body shop or a dealership, a simple 120 volt and extension cord can do the job. So the traditional method would include PDR rods, which are long stainless steel or spring steel type rods, and it looks like a large lever. So what they'll go is from the back side of the panel, apply leverage, and get that panel to lift up in that particular area of damage. But that requires backside access. So in some cases where there is no backside access, this product is fantastic. So from the top side, you're actually allowed to reduce that dent or eliminate that dent. So what this device is specialized for is what we call soft shallow dents. If the dent has a medium impression, then with a simple, what they call a PDR knockdown tool that we supply with a kit, you can shallow out that dent and then once again use this tool and product. So it's designed for flat surfaces on steel panels or convex shaped areas. So the technology behind the T-Hotbox is an electromagnetic dent type device. It uses heat and vibration. So that's the patented technology behind that. So the heat thermally expands the material, and then the vibration allows the material to relax and go back to the direction that is stamped from the factory. A lot of our independent clients now are purchasing the equipment as well. So basically it's something that you need to ask for by name. And it's the process is called Eco Repair Systems. So we're spending time training the insurance company so that way they know what to ask for and the expectation is set. The misconception between traditional methods of repairing dents, whether it's a body shop or a dealership, is the fact that it does take a lot of time. There's a lot of blending with painting on the panels. But with devices like we've created, we reduce the severity of repair. So the idea is to keep the damage small and not get into blend areas if we can eliminate that and basically provide the customer the best possible repair with the least amount of cost.
As you know, the body roll on a car can really kill the handling. An easy way to combat that is to swap out the bushings. And the leader in bushings, without a doubt, is energy suspension. Now, Joe had a chance to catch up with Mike Santa Cruz at this year's show to see what the latest applications are.
Hey everybody, it's Joe again from Rev'n News. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Mike Santa Cruz. Used to work together for years. Now he's running the pack over here at Energy Suspensions. Probably had a lot to do with bringing over Asian and farm truck. Good idea, brother.
It doesn't hurt, Joe. It's been a really good week so far here at SEMA. Farm Truck and Asian bring a lot of excitement to the booth. They're great spokespeople for us. They've been using the product well before the show, and we just wanted to show everybody out here, some new product that we have for 2016.
Well, you guys have been exhibiting at this show for how many years?
A little bit, yeah, so it's been a while. It's been over 30 years, yeah.
Well, I've been coming since '82, and I've always been able to see, and usually in the same location too, but man, things have changed, Mike. You've got a wide variety of products. Let's do a little walk around. Can you tell us about some of the products that we have here, starting with the GMC and the Chevy line?
Yeah, absolutely. The 2007-2010 Hyperflex Master Kit is for the full-size Chevy, the 2500, 3500. We kind of found that this workhorse needed some upgrades, originally from stock all the way to a very well built up truck. So if they're running a lift kit or if it's stock with aftermarket wheels and tires, the bushings get a workout. So polyurethane versus the rubber, no questions asked, got to go with the polyurethane. So we started out with the body mounts, control arm bushings, leaf spring and shackle bushings, differential mounts. Anything that shouldn't be moving is kept in place with polyurethane motor mounts and body mounts.
And we're not talking about just big lifted off-road trucks. We're talking about a lot of even the lower trucks. I remember in the sport truck market, the polyurethane bushings were key when you were dropping that truck.
Absolutely. I mean, the control arms can take a workout when they're lifted or when they're lowered or just stock. And when those bushings start to fatigue, the suspension doesn't really work well. It's kind of inefficient, if you will. And you start going through tires, you get the shakes, doesn't handle very well.
How about the Ford guys? What do you have for the Ford guys?
Yeah, absolutely. 2015 Mustang, that's obviously a hot item. Right away, we figured that a lot of people weren't going to see the weak link, but we found out with the independent rear suspension, the subframe bushings and the differential mounts were a little too compliant. So it was great for NVH, but once you got on the throttle, that thing would wheel hop like crazy. It would kind of get crazy in the tail. It'd get tail happy. So what we did is we firmed it up with some polyurethane bushings on the control arms, as well as the differential mounts and the subframe bushings. So,
Mike, in addition to making products that are available to all consumers, you make many products for other manufacturers too.
Absolutely. We have actually done a lot of OE manufacturing for some of the great names like Eibach, Hotchkiss, Bilstein, Detroit Speed, hundreds of other chassis manufacturers, large and small, and we really welcome their business, and they've been very good customers of ours, and that's why we really stay out of the hard parts. We're a polyurethane manufacturer. We don't manufacture arms or bars. Leave those up to those experts. We're the experts at the polyurethane, so the best use the best.
I don't know what to tell you. If you're looking for performance polyurethane components, there may be some other folks out there, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to go anywhere else but Energy Suspension.
Hey, there it is, another episode of Rev'n News on Rev'n TV.
And thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more, you can check us out on Facebook. If you're inclined, click the like button.
Oh, we would love you for it. And also, you can see the live stream if you missed something on RevnTV.com.
And of course, there's a ton of videos on our YouTube channel, archives from our very first season, and even some sneak peeks from this year.
So make sure you stay in touch. For Michael Roboletto, my name is Clarence Barnes. We'll see you soon right here with Rev'n News.
Thanks for watching.